came for a professional speaker today, you might want to ask for a refund. But I did notice that there was no speaker fee added to your breakfast. So hopefully the food. Do what?
We're going to take a collection here at the end. See how well you do.
I'm glad. Yeah. Well, I'm in trouble. I'm glad to be among some of my peers, like Doug and like Steve Wright. And anybody else here involved in the Christian music world over the years that I'm missing? Tom was just talking about. He says, "Did you know Ralph Carmichael?" Anybody heard of Ralph Carmichael?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And my friend Steve said over here, yes, I helped raise Ralph Carmichael. Now, Ralph is about 80 years old now, so that was very rude. Doug's introduction can be short because I'm going to talk about myself here for about an hour. Okay, guys, we're going to have fun today. All right? This is a totally interactive deal today, so eat fast because you're going to have to do some work. No, one thing we learned in the Christian music industry, and this is I just finished 40 years, started when I was 12, and started when I was 12, and we've certainly seen a lot of changes in the Christian music industry over the years. Also, I did a lot of work in Christian publishing. I've had the privilege of working with a lot of the people that you may have heard on the radio. If you listen to the radio, I don't know why you would. And maybe you've read some books by some of the people I've worked with. And so it's been a privilege. But one thing we have learned in the Christian music industry over the years is that we did not invent shameless self-promotion, but we have perfected it. So that's why I'm going to talk about myself for a while. Now, today is really we're going to talk about relationships, and there's three kinds of relationships. You ready? Relationship with me, with you, and with them. You got it? So we're going to talk about three kinds of relationships, and I'm going to introduce to you, it's on your table now, but you can't look at it because that would give it away. I'm going to introduce to you a relationship model that changed my life 25 years ago. And I'll guarantee you when we get to that in 5 minutes, it will change your life. How's that for a prophetic word? Okay? It'll change the way that you look at all your relationships, but particularly the ones that you work with. And some of your family relationships. So, let me study my notes. Three kinds of relationships, okay? Life is all about relationship, isn't it? That's why we're here. By the way, that's why Jesus came. It's all about relationship. Now, I speak to a lot of men, and so ladies, forgive me if I get a little bit too blunt, too direct, or too earthy. But here's the bottom line. Jesus came to replace religion with relationship. So if you came for a religious experience today, it ain't going to work. This is about relationship. Relationship with us, with him, and with each other. So you got it? So let's talk about the most important relationship, the one with me. As Doug said, I just have been in the Christian music and publishing industry for a long time. This is important because everybody in the room is pretty much business oriented, right? This is the Tucson Business Fellowship. Okay. Very responsive group. I'm used to working with more responsive groups. Is anybody in business in the room? Yeah. Okay, there you go. Thank you very much. Well, I've been in business for a long time. Like I said, I started my own business when I was 12 years old. And it was a lawn mowing business. Anybody? Well, no, you're in Arizona. There's no lawn mowing business out here, right? Well, back in Texas, there was a lawn mowing business. And so it progressed from there to this point where I stand before you today, having been in business for a long, long time. At one point, as we said, I was in business in the Christian music publishing industry for about 40 years. Had the privilege of leading some companies you've probably heard of, Word Records, back in the day when it was about 70% of the Christian music market. Some of you may remember that. Maranatha Music, I was a partner in that. Was a partner in a company called Star Song Communications. Let's see, to give you a reference, back in the Word days, anybody heard of Andre Crouch? Oh, yeah. Okay, that's where I started. Back with Andre Crouch. You're not old enough to remember Andre Crouch. Okay. Yeah. All right, all the way up through, groups like Bill Gaither Trio, Evie, Amy Grant back, signed her when she was 16. I told you I was good at shameless self-promotion, so we'll keep going here. The Imperials in their heyday, Sandy Patty, Newsboys, DC talk. Okay, now we're getting there, right? Now we're getting there. In fact, for years people would ask me, what kind of music do you really like? And I'd say, it doesn't really matter, because I like what people bought. Can I get an amen? It's kind of like, Chris, what kind of house do you like? The kind of people buy. Okay, and so that was kind of the story, but I finally admitted it about 25 years into this journey. They finally pinned me down, and somebody said, well, who do you really like? And I said, okay, Twilight Paris, Phillips, Craig, and Dean. Okay, so if you want to know where I come from. Now, I did start in Southern Gospel as a promotion man. Anybody grew up on Southern Gospel music? Oh, that's right, I'm in Arizona. Happy Goodman family, folks like that. And at one point, I actually bought a record label called Pure Metal. So I was very eclectic in my taste. Like I say, along the way, I got to work with some